ライン、あの黒いやつを追うのはいいけど、何か手がかりはないかな。
まずはコロニー6へ行ってみねえか。
コロニー6か。ここ以外に唯一残っているホムスのコロニーだね。
あそこは奴らの拠点があるって噂の大剣の渓谷とここコロニー9の間にある。大剣の渓谷から奴らが来てるってのならコロニー6の人たちが何か見てるかもしれないぜ。
そうか。コロニー6なら黒い顔つきに関しての手がかりが得られるかもしれない。マグメルドの遺跡を抜けてテフラ洞窟を登れば巨神の膝に出るはずだよね。
ああ、膝に出ればコロニー6まではすぐだろ。
そうだね。行こうか、コロニー6へ。
Probably best not to question what sort of circumstances would make taking a 4-year-old up to a frozen mountain, ravine, whatever, as the safest option. Hi, I'm CyMaxD, call me Cy or Max, whichever you prefer, and as you've probably figured out during the cutscenes, I did replay the Metal Face fight just so I could change Vulcanrein's appearance. No hard feelings about Fiora? Anyways, in today's episode of Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition, gem crafting is now available. We can make Aether gems in the Aether Furnace at Colony 9. Just talk to the gem man and get started. We are going to be doing a couple of side quests before heading off to Tephra Cave first. It might even be the full length of the video, depending on how long it takes to record everything. Now before we continue, it's worth noting that Liliana here has had a quest available to us since, well, completing Dean's Shady requests. I wouldn't recommend taking this right now, however, as it does have a bit of a mean obstacle in our path. As we make our way through the colony, you'll see there's still a bit of debris from the fight. First up on the agenda, let's actually speak with the gem man and get into character. How are you, Eva Gems? Oh, the look on your face looks like you've been bewitched by the wonder of gems. I know the feeling. I suppose you want to try making your own gem. You're just in time. Have I got a treat in store for you? And I've just fixed the furnace. She's warmed up and ready to go. You don't need to pay me. I can never charge friends of the great hero Dunban. Oh, that's awfully convenient. Use it as much as you like. When creating an Aether gem, first you select the materials to put into the furnace. Only Aether crystals of the same rank can be put into the furnace at the same time. As seen in the little image, crystals range from ranks 1 through to 5. The higher the rank affects how high the potency of that effect is. Yeah. Anyways, the act of refining Aether crystals into gems is called crafting. When the strength of a certain quality exceeds 100%, an Aether gem of that quality will be formed. Or with that quality. This is important to note because most crystals have multiple qualities. Only the ones that exceed 100 will be made into a gem. If you put crystals with matching qualities into the furnace so that the total strength of the quality you are aiming for exceeds 100%... Therefore, the aim is to put crystals with matching qualities into the furnace so that the total of the strength of the quality you are aiming for exceeds 100%. When the strength of the quality exceeds 100, or you already have put in 8 crystals, you cannot add any more. Press A to confirm the crystals you wish to put into the furnace. Crafting is carried out by 2 party members, the shooter and the engineer. Once selected, the abilities of each party member will be shown. I'll show you what every team member does when it comes to their shooting and engineer positions. The pair's affinity will also determine how many times they can craft. Use left and right on the D-pad to highlight a party member and press A to select them. For example, so the shooter will shoot several times during crafting. Each time you craft, the abilities of your party members will kick in. The result will depend on the abilities of the 2 party members. For example, Shulk's shooter ability is that he's more likely to enter a fever state while crafting. I'm just gonna put this up. Ryan's, meanwhile, is crafting with a stronger flame will increase the quality. More on both of those things eventually. The engineer's abilities change the balance of the flame strength. A strong flame will greatly increase the strength of one quality, the medium flame increases the strength of all qualities by a slight degree, and the gentle flame fills the cylinder gauge. As we can see here, Shulk is good with the gentle flame, but his competency with higher intensities is average. Whereas Ryan is pretty much zero all or nothing because he's great with using the strong flame but can't handle the rest. Finally, qualities which exceed a strength of 100% during crafting will become ether gems. However, qualities that do not exceed 100% can become cylinders, one quality for each time you have filled the cylinder gauge. Cylinders can be used again in gem crafting just like with crystals. In other words, when it comes to crafting gems, you wanna, well, not only look at the highlighted effects to find different effects, crystals or cylinders that have an overlapping quality based on the ones you've already added will be highlighted for ease of use. When it comes to cylinders, basically gem crafting is a bit of a nice mini game. The aim is to get as many of these qualities up to 100%, whilst also making sure you don't have any excess versus the number of cylinders you can generate. It's... yeah. If we go with showing recommended, it gives us a few ideas of, I guess, some useful things. Wait. Oh, only based on the first one. As you can see, the crystals dropped from enemies have a very low percentage value, whereas the cylinders we've been obtaining from side quests have a single quality but are extremely high up there. Now for this example, I'm going to take these two fire cylinders, and you'll see that the percentage value goes really high. The important note for this is, yeah, for this, Shulk is the shooter, Ryan is the engineer. Now the reason I want to go for a single value that's strength is nearly 200%.
俺に任せとけってあらよよいしょほいさよいしょほいさそれほいさそれあらよそれラッキーほいさよいしょやったね波が来たよほいさよいしょやったねほいさそれやったねいつもよりうまくできたね
So, the Flaming Ore is our Fever state, which as you see can boost the quality multiple times within a single turn. Heat is now an interesting thing. If the strength exceeds 200% while crafting, the rank of the gem will automatically go up by 1. I wasn't able to show you in this case, but there is a higher state known as Mega Heat. You get, if you manage to increase the strength to 300%, not only will the quality of your gem increase by 1 rank higher than what you've put in, but you're getting 2 copies of that gem with the highest possible value for that rank. In this case, let me double check my notes. The value of a strength up gem at rank 1 ranges from 5 to 10, at rank 2 from 15 to 20, 25 to 30 at rank 3, and so on and so forth. Therefore, if I had managed to achieve a Mega Heat, I'd have 2 rank 2 gems of 20. It's a very useful mechanic, especially in the post-game when you pretty much need it to even have a chance at taking on the toughest enemies. For the main story, I'm actually not going to use it. It's complete, because it's technically optional. And besides, we gain plenty of useful rewards through quests in the Collectopedia, so it's no big deal. Just wanted to point that out there. Now, creatures drop ether crystals, but the Bionists got some and all. What they call ether deposits. Keep an eye out for them. We'll get to that when we find them. At any rate, the Bionis' ether crystals are loaded with power! You don't look too excited. That's nice. More importantly... Yep, going over what I already mentioned. Putting ether crystals with higher strength qualities into the furnace will produce gems with higher ranks and stronger qualities. When a total strength of a quality exceeds 200% during the crafting will enter a heat state. Wait, what? Hold on. Have I been misunderstood? Oh no, I'm thinking of heat. No, they're talking about heat. I'm thinking of fever. My bad. Where the gems are produced at one rank higher. Yep. Sometimes the characters will enter a fever state during which the shooter can shoot many times in a row. All in one turn. Increase the chance of entering a fever state by using Shulk as the shooter or learning skills that increase fever rate. In other words, unlock the fever pitch skill and... No, really, this is the only skill that affects gem crafting in any way, shape or form. Here we have another gem crafting tutorial. Select materials such as ether crystals on the material selection screen to see their qualities in the effects list. Press the right braille button to show recommended to bring materials which have the same qualities listed to the top of the material list. Material icons that are lit up indicate recommended materials. Anyways, on to the side quests. First of all, let's talk with Sesame. What's with that face? You wanna join us? Oh, come on, we're short of members anyhow. Now, you came because you heard about my plan, right? What plan? Could you go into more detail? Yeah, we might be able to help. Well, you'll know soon enough. Better late than never, eh? Here's your first job. The plan, preparation. We've already completed this by having 2 croaking brog bags. I'm just going to say this is a multi-part quest and I won't be able to complete them just yet because the last one's a bit of a challenge. But we might as well just get started. Go to Tefra Cave and collect some croaking brog bags for me. You're the one of us now, you can write it down. Already got that done. Did you get them all? Good work, man. You're learning the ropes fast. Now you need to take these to the residential district and see Betty. Betty's normally around during the day. Go have a chat with her. And don't let me down. Oh, you need to see me? I see. You're one of his gang. Forgive me. It's just that you don't look the type. Of course not. Here's what I promised him. Whatever you do, don't look at what's inside. Interesting. And yeah, we'll get back to these 2 in a moment. So, you spoke to her? Then hand it over. Come on, I know she gave you something. Yep, no doubt about it, this is the real thing. Good work! I'm glad everything worked out. Did she say something? Actually, nah. Forget I asked. That's all for now. I should have another job for you later. And no complaints, even if it's just another courier job. I think I already made that abundantly clear what these 2 are in an early episode, but oh well. Critical up's not a bad idea. I'll get back to this a little bit later. For now, I want to talk to Leopold.
Hi.
I'm used to being in debt, but never this badly. I'll never be able to pay the whole lot back. And the total keeps growing bigger and bigger and bigger. The worst part is, it's affecting my ability to write anything decent. So I barely have any kind of cash flow coming in at all. Now listen here, Sonny, you better pay me back. Back 300,000 gold in 2 days. You do realize what'll happen to you if you don't pay, right? But you can't. We agreed in 2 months. I can't get it that quickly. Well, the deal's changed. If you don't pay up, I'm gonna seize everything you own. The bloke who lent me the lunny is really turning the screws. I don't know what I can do, but I have to keep up payments somehow. And here we see the effects of the Monado bleed in not just to the cutscenes, but the actual gameplay. In a vision, Leopold is being harassed for money by the loan shark King Squeeze. Do something to prevent this unhappy occurrence. So, apparently we're going to be meeting the king himself to figure things out. You think I'm pressing our good friend Leopold for too much? For money he doesn't have. I can't deny it, but I'm not an unreasonable money lender. I just want him to pay back the money he owes me. Is that so much to ask? He could do it if he just stopped splashing out on his girlfriend. Then his wages could go to paying me back instead. And then we'd be square. I'd gladly call the whole thing off. Oh, really now? Once again, very nicely done. Of course. It's child's play getting men like him to spend all their money. Good work, my girl. Here's your new orders. This much? Are you nuts? Why do you need him to get into this much debt? I think it's time I got out of this game for good. I want that boy's house. It's in a nice area, worth quite a bit. The infamous King Squeeze is packing it all in, huh? Alright. You've got a deal. Expect a sizable contribution to your retirement fund. Make sure you don't screw this up. And make sure he doesn't find out. You would say that. You're the one who's looking to cash in. Leopold would never blame me anyway. He loves me. What? What do you want? You can swipe the suspicious look off your face for a start. There's nothing going on here. And with another vision, we have a branching quest objective. Talk to King Squeeze and decide whether to press Sylviane or reveal the truth to Leopold. First of all, let's try talking to Leopold about this.
Hi.
Hold on. You say Sylviane's been working for King Squeeze? Right under my nose this whole time? So what was their plan? Make Sylviane spend all my money so I have to borrow more? Then hit me up for the repayments? Nah, it can't be. That girl's been a big spender since the day she was born. She would never spend my money to line King Squeeze's pockets. But if King Squeeze's business falls apart, wouldn't that mean my debts will disappear with him? What a plan! It's brilliant! I guess? Sorry, this is a bit out of the blue, but I need a favour from you. Can you get your hands on some catabile poison for me? Then distract King Squeeze and secretly slip it in his pocket. I intend to arrange an interview with him for a fake article. Something like Colony 9's top earners of the year. He'll take the bait, we'll meet, and I coincidentally find the poison. He gets incriminated, loses face, and his business is finished. Oh, this is turning into something. I'll never show his face around here again. If you're low on catapile poison and don't feel like grinding those catapiles we saw at the first section of Tefa Cave, simply trade with Wrong button. Trade with Francois and you'll be all good to go. Oh, you again. I'm a busy man, you know. Time is money. What do you want? Oh, I know, Leopold's too chicken to come give me my money. Hello? Anybody in there? Cat got your tongue or something? If you don't have anything to say, get on your bike. Go on, hop it.
Hi.
You had the poison in his pocket? Right then, it's all set. I'll go and find it and make a big ugly scene in public. Then I can write the real story an expose on his dodgy deals. And then King Squeeze is finished! You should have seen his face. Now I'll be off my back for forever. Reckon things will be okay with my girlfriend too. Now I'll be able to write without worrying about my pile of debts. Cheers! If we talk to Leopold again...
Hi.
Arnold was a real gent the other day. He treated me to lunch. But he said my new articles just ain't biting enough for his taste. Can't really argue with him, to be honest. And so for completing financial planning by speaking to Leopold, we get this dynamic. Arnold considers him a fan. Leo got his revenge on Squeeze. And Sylviane. Going back in time, what happens if we speak to Sylviane instead? Me and King Squeeze? Uh-oh, have we been rumbled? I suppose I should spill the beans now the cat's out of the bag. He's been squeezing his clients really hard lately. So I don't want to work for him anymore. If you want to confront him though, I know just how to do it. You can find his top secret orders I chucked away. I threw them off the Central Plaza. Hopefully the orders aren't ruined by now and you can still find them. You can do whatever you like. Leopold's good to me. You can't stop him looking after me. Oh. I guess the con lady does have a heart. Now ever since the attack, you'll notice that a part of the guardrail here is missing. Hi Kenny. Bye Kenny. If we jump down here and... Always... Ow! Here we got the orders that completely missed the water. Now we bring the orders to King Squeeze and... Me and Sylviane aren't up to nothing. You can't prove it even if we are. That imagination of yours is gonna get you into trouble. We never even mentioned our suspicions of you, did we? I can't believe it! These are the orders I wrote for Sylviane. What's wrong with her? She should have got rid of this properly. Now I have a business to protect and she just leaves us lying around. Alright, fine. I won't keep hounding Leopold for money. I tell the girl to stop bleeding him dry of all his money too. I'll tell the girl, not me. And as a show of good faith, I won't let you go empty-handed. I'm a nice guy. What do you expect? Yes. Nice. Ah, what an oxymoron. But I'll need something in return. Keep this incident to yourself. After all, it's not my fault he borrows money recklessly. He spends, he borrows. He's got no one else to blame but himself. And as you can see, we got a different type of reward for completing an alternate path on this financial planning quest. In this case, it's a choice between light and medium footwear. Though I will say some branching quests do actually affect how much golden experience you also obtain. Even... I don't recall reputation being impacted much, but... And as we can see, the Dastly duo are still in cahoots, and things are... But it's not all bad. If we talk to Leopold again...
Hi.
Sylviane throwing my money in the toilet is a blessing in disguise. Being poor gives my articles this real gritty feeling. That's what makes them so popular to see.
Hi.
Speak to him again. Arnold was a real gent the other day. He brought me lunch. And he said my articles have a lot more humour in them than before. Little things like that make me smile, you know. Who knew that the keys of winning fans' hearts was being in constant debt? Oh, the struggling life of a writer, artisan, etc. Regardless of which route you choose, and yes, I am sticking to this latter one, speak to Sylviane twice as well. Oh, darling, buy me a lap, please. Maybe I'll try to... That's not what we want. Speak to her a second time, again, regardless of whichever route you choose, and... I'm much prettier than my cousin Francois. But she's so tight-fisted. Not me. However much I spend, I'm never completely happy. I wonder who envies whom in this scenario. Speaking of Francois,
Oh yeah?
it's such a tragedy. I suppose it can't be helped. Sounds like you've got a problem. Alright, let's hear this problem of yours. Oh, how kind of you to stop and listen. All the flowers in my garden got crushed in the attack. I worked so hard to grow them, but it saddens me to look at them. I know what it feels like to lose something important. Oh, I hope there's something we can do to help. Wow. Once again, I got everything before we even... You're bringing me some flowers, thank you. No problem, leave it to me. Not great affinity, but... we got all this done. Wow, Dawn Hydrant. Cheers, they're my favourite. I can't wait till they're in full bloom for everyone to enjoy. This time I'll try growing them to be more resilient. Thank you. I'm glad everything worked out. Please come see the Dawn Hydrangeas when they're in bloom. You know, short and sweet. Now since we're in the area... Hey, Shulk. I really need to talk to you. It's serious. Me and Paola had this big public falling out. It's so embarrassing. It was about Brian and you. Oh, please don't tell me we're arguing over who makes the better husband, though. It's really silly. We argued about who's the strongest at... I knew it! I knew it! Well, actually, I already knew it from before. I told her it was you, obviously. No need to worry about that. But now I need you to go and kill a dragon for me and alone. Oh no. Are you stupid or something? Ryan is loads cooler. You're the stupid one. Shulk's way better and cute. Well, you're not wrong. Well, Ryan's hotter and stronger. Why they don't make such valid points, these two kids? Ryan's got a Oh. Ryan's just as clever as Shulk. Clever in different ways, maybe? Oh, this is getting so petty. Well, Shulk's kinda. And Ryan's big and scary. Ryan can protect me. Nothing can hurt me as long as Ryan's around. Oh, this is getting so sad to voice. Well, when has Ryan ever had to protect you? But you don't even know Shulk mended my toy for me once. Oh, that's nice. Definitely you can understand it. I can't believe you just said that. Oh my... you're gonna cry now, you're great. I don't know, it'll probably just make things worse between you guys. Yeah, I'm not gonna deny that either. Oh please, Shulk, please. My street cred will be ruined if you don't. I think your street cred has already hit rock bottom after that display. Everyone will laugh at me. Me and Ryan never argue. What do you mean? Are you saying it don't matter if we ever became friends or not? No, that's not what I... Can't you two be more like us? I guess... we could be. I'll promise to make up with Paola if you promise me something. Show us that you really are best friends forever. Paola and Noreen! As you can see, these rewards are really high compared to all the rest we've done. Naturally, we're not finishing this for quite some time. I just wanted to get it started because I'm sure many of you will either have partially completed it or want to know the conditions. You'll have to convince me first, then you gotta convince Paolo. No problem, leave it to me. Now when they say increase the affinity between Shulk and Ryan to a good degree, they be talking about getting their affinity up to blue. Wow, you and Ryan are the bestest of friends. I've changed my mind about Ryan. I can see he's a nice boy too. Yeah, he's a nice lung. But now you gotta prove to Paola about your friendship, and she won't believe you unless you really are the bestest friends. Bestest as in you need to increase their affinity to a purplish white cloud. Here's our first stopgap. I'm sure they can wait for us to get there. I mean, what's the worst that these two kids could end up doing? Now, dialing back a bit, once you complete the Flattened Flowers quest, speak to Arnold to trigger a special conversation. You know my wife, right? She's called Francois. If you've seen her lately, I'd like to know how she's getting on. This... oh boy. We have another branching path. Let's say she's doing fine. That's good to hear. Looks like I can stop worrying about them and get back to work. To get it apart does not sound too good.
Oh yeah?
Speak to Francois after this conversation. My husband told you he was worried about us? Then I wish he'd come back home. Our daughter hasn't seen her father's face for so long. He's a terrible father. Sorry, you didn't need to hear that. Thank you for letting me know. Uh-oh. Naturally, the correct answer is telling Arnold that he should go ask her himself. That's harsh but fair. I know I should go and talk to her. I'll go home when I get a chance. Maybe my daughter has grown. Speak to Francois in this timeline, which again, I'm keeping canon. My husband's coming home. Oh, he works so very hard for our dear daughter, but I wish he could come home every day. I wish he'd get his act together. Thanks for coming to tell me. Oh, look at that. Crisis averted. Whew. But we're not done yet. Change the time to 3 AM in the morning and have a chat with Arnold as he leaves on his fish. I feel like my research is coming along well. Fancy helping out? Only joking, you got enough on your plate as it is. Second time's the charm? I can't remember the last time I went home. Oh, here we are. Kant is always thinking about its family, unlike me. I think I should try to be more like him. And we got a new part of Affinity, yay! Also, we are Colony 9 celeb now. Although you probably saw it already. And again, with a new the main reason I bring this up is because with higher affinity means we get more possible items to trade with the residents. Everything has its advantages. During the daytime at the military district, let's have a quick chat with Emilita. You again? Good timing. I've got a little job for you. Could you go into more detail? Go on, spill it. I'm sure Shulk will have something up his sleeve. You can help me too, Ryan. The number of Windfangs in Tephra Great Cave has really shot up. None of the other teams are willing to exterminate them. So it falls to my platoon to take on the job. Only thing is, me and Miller can't handle it alone. I was hoping you could help out. I want you to man Tephra, then kill 5 just to make sure. Can I count on you? Here we go again. And let me guess, you have to take all the credit for our work. I'll make sure everyone knows you helped us. But if you're still not happy... I know, I'll buy you dinner! Oh, she knows how to bribe good. You can stuff yourself with all of your favourite foods. Now that's what I'm talking about! Thank you, me and Miller will handle the other areas. You just take care of the Windfangs and Tephra Cavern. No problem, leave it to me. There are a lot of scholars in my family, like Aunt Shura. I broke the mold and became a soldier. That's why I gotta try even harder to cut it. Anyways, before we head off to Tephra Cave and finish the story, I wanted to speak with Monica quickly. Why, thank you for gracing me with your presence, my matchmaker. Confused? Yes. Oh, but why? I was merely thanking you for the agreement we're about to make. Oh. I don't like where this is going. Could you go into more detail? You really can't guess? We are slow now, aren't we? Aren't I talking to the person who can get anything for anyone? I didn't think that episode title joke would catch on so quickly, but this clearly leads to her request. I want a Tephra drop. If you give it to another along with words of love, they fall for you. And you will be together forever. I guess. You will? You'll find it for me? Yes, it's all coming together. Not long now until my dreams become reality. That Monica, eh? She scrubs up well, but I'm not looking for anything serious. If she gets all soppy on me, I'll just dump her and move on. Monica married him? But why? How could she pick Eric? She doesn't know what he's really like. He's just using her. Just a little long, Eric. Soon we will be together. Huh? Is there something you'd like to tell me? If not, I suggest you'll be on your way. No problem, leave it to me. And with that, it seems that Andreas has something on his mind. Oh no, I'm running out of time. Why won't she listen to me? Could you go into more detail? Thanks, I'm really in a bind here. There's nothing else I can do. Please hear me out. I'm in love with this girl, Monica, but she's obsessed with Eric. If only I had a Tephra drop, I could force Monica to fall for me. Oh no. Oh, this isn't going well. If Monica's got a thing for Eric, maybe you should call it quits? You don't understand. It's Eric that's the problem. He's no good for a girl like her. But Monica doesn't know what he's really like. You've got to help me. You're really gonna help me? I mean, you're doing the right thing. Why on by honest did I ever marry that Andreas? It felt right at the time, so why not now? It's too late to question it. I just wish I felt happier than this. Not long now, Monica. What's wrong? You look worried for some reason. Don't forget that Tephra drop. No problem, leave it to me. And here we have our first example of a timed quest? The stopwatch icon usually means that a quest will disappear if it's not completed before a certain beat in the story. In this case, it refers to the fact that these two are mutually exclusive. We only have one Tephra drop, and so we gotta choose which of the two deserves it more. As you can see, the physical reward is basically just a helmet or some boots, and a very morally perplexing conundrum. For reference sake, here's Andreas' profile, Eric's, and Monica. This quest is more or less a choice of picking whichever you view to be the lesser evil. Going back to Sesame, because why not? Oh hey, there you are, just in the nick of time. Got any idea what my plan is about yet? No? Could you go into more detail? You still haven't cottoned on? Come on, it's obvious! Anyway, you're one of us, no backing out now. Right then, here's your next job. It's sort of like your last job. Nah, it's exactly like it. Here we are, grabbing some iron crabble shells, which I already have. Go to Cliff Lake, you can find the crabbles there. One of us now get this done. You got him? Like clockwork as usual. You're an asset to my team. According to the list, the next job is going and having a chat with our artist friend Kenny Rohan. Hi. He should give you something to give you. The only thing is, he has this tendency to move around a lot. You might need to hunt him down. Oh, how convenient. Now, if you're having trouble tracking Kenny, just remember, in the Definitive Edition, you can track their locations. Easy as. Your Sesame's go-between? Make sure you get this to him. Don't go looking inside. That man does irritate me a little, foisting this difficult task on me. Just tell him not to mess up, and don't mention my name. Easy now, gently. Oh, hi, Sesame! You got the package off him? Excellent, I owe you one. I'm glad everything worked out. He didn't mention anything else, did he? Actually, it doesn't matter. Don't worry about him. Your last job is coming up, I'm sure you can pull it off. Yes. Our last job. Which we won't take for a while because that strength up is good. Trust me, we're thoroughly underleveled for what he's got planned. Just a quick note that, much like with Liliana, Giorgio has a quest available for us right now. Now I could complete it, and I will say in advance, this does have a branching path. One that confers a slightly better reward physically, and another that focuses a little more on a better affinity. I won't complete this right now because, depending on the outcome, you'll get one or two quests. And one of these branched quests requires materials from a place we've yet to visit. I'll make sure to go back to this as soon as I can. Same with Liliana and Sesame. Finally, the last thing I want to do before we wrap up with this episode, let's have a chat with Cheryl.
Oh, yes.
Please, you must listen. My son went missing years ago, and I think I know where he went. Sounds like you've got a problem. Alright, let's hear this out, no problem of yours. I found something that belonged to him. That's how I know he's gone. He's gone and he's never coming back. And worst of all, I don't even have his remains to return to the Bionis. Could you find his other effects? I'd like to know how far he went. You can count on me, old lady. Is that so? Do I look like someone who'd make jokes? Well, you do call some folks a bunch of jokers, but it's nice to see there are still fine, upstanding youths in the world. You remind me of my son. My son said he was aiming to reach the Bionis' head. Silly boy. I don't know how far he got, but I'd like it if you found his effects. Mementos of a Lost Son. We won't be completing this quest for quite some time, but honestly, it's a good idea to pick it up now, since we will be finding the remains of Cheryl's son along our journey. Thank you most kindly. Accepting my son's fate was hard, but has left me much more at ease. Take care on your own travels. And with that, we're gonna end things here. Next time in Xenoblade Definitive Edition, we'll be making our way to Tephra Cave. Have a good day.